Hi, and welcome to our podcast, Good Deeds Real Estate with a Mission. I'm Diane Davidson from the Fine Homes Group, hence the product placement. And I'm here with Bill Weidecker.
What about me?
And with what about him? What about him? Bill Weidecker, my business partner in crime. Anyway, for starters, well, hello, Bill. For starters,
And I'm your husband
and
as well.
husband. That's the partner
Yes.
in crime part. Okay,
Oh, partner. Oh, that's you.
I think
So I slid that in there.
know. Little product placement here. We have these wonderful cold drink cups, and we have covered tumblers, and these have lids that go with straw. Anyway, if you tell me which one you like better, the red or the black, at 617-549-8989, just text me. We'll be happy to get you one, or even two.
The
So
black, for the record, this is mine,
yes.
and I find the black incredibly slimming.
Depending on what's in it. And I like the red because it stands out. But again, you can have a straw top, all sorts of possibilities. Okay, enough nonsense. Let's get on with things. So you were sharing with me some information, an email that you got from a company that does some research for us with regard to what buyers and what people that we serve in our business, what they're looking for, what resonates with them, and I found it fascinating. So I was hoping you'd share some of those insights with us. They communicate with 1,000 people, correct?
Yeah, in this particular case, they polled and did some research with 1,000 recent home sellers.
Okay.
And so the report that they did on our behalf was called The Emotional Landscape of Home Selling. So this is, we think as realtors that we know what our clients go through. And to some extent we do, but we don't know how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
And we also don't always know what they think, even though we think we know what they think. So I'm going to get into some of the data and we'll just take it from there.
Can I guess some of them?
Well, okay.
Well, we'll see.
We can turn it into a game if that's what you'd like.
Gamify. Love to gamify.
So the first part of the research was how sellers describe their agents. And I found this interesting because when they were asked this question, which word best describes the real estate agent who helped you in your last home sale? 23% of those said they were my guide. 6% said coach. 13% said confidant. They were given words to choose, right? 1% said, get this, 1%, therapist.
All right. That seems a little low.
Does it seem low? 5% of those polled said, I described that real estate agent as a disappointment. Now that's a good response by you because they weren't our sellers. So it's just, and 1% fell into the other category, but 51% of those polled said, I saw my agent as an advisor.
Great.
So here's what strikes me is, are we acting as one? I think we are. But I think the rank and file of real estate agents out there, some do, some don't. Some see themselves as just sort of maneuvering through the process and handling the paperwork and, doing some marketing. But they want advice. Agent is the job. Advice or advisor is where the value is. Mm-hmm. If our consumer sees that, that's where we need to deliver.
Well, we have one of our favorite things to share with people that are about to be working with us is we advise, you decide. Mm-hmm. And I think we do a great job at collecting information, interpreting it, sharing it, sometimes handicapping the results, and then asking our clients what feels best to them. Mm-hmm. And I think in this business, and maybe in many businesses, many professionals they make the decisions for their clients. They don't give them all the information, help them get through it, and help them to come to a conclusion that feels good. They just make a decision. We see it over and over and over, where agents that we are working, with negotiating with on a transaction, we can tell when they don't even consult with their client. They just make the decision for them, and not the way it should be. That's not advice.
Right. I think advice is giving all the information, all of the pros and cons, mm-hmm. And I think it's refreshing in a world where, just this is this is what you should do. Therefore, that's what we're doing.
Mhm.
I like that idea. Now, here's another.
In other words, you're saying that that's not in a world where other people say that,
Yeah,
just to be clear.
I like
Good.
the idea of being looked at and acting as an advisor.
Mhm.
So our tagline of "We advise, you decide" makes a lot of sense. It sings
Too.
to me, and I didn't come up with it. You did. Um, so it sings to me nonetheless. Stress in choosing an agent. This is interesting to me because I never realized that this is a stressful position for them. And so people are stressed about choosing an agent, and um, I, I I'm blown away. And here's why. In most cases, everyone kind of looks the same. So that's stressful if you're like, how do I pick the right one
Yeah.
when everybody looks the same?
It's not like shoes where you can just buy many pairs. Oh, sorry. It might be too personal.
I'll take it all.
Oh, those old things. I've had those forever.
So here's when asked the question, why did you find choosing a real estate agent to be stressful? 20% said, I don't like dealing with salespeople.
Mm.
This idea of advisor
Versus
again.
the
See
salesperson.
now,
Yep.
29% said all agents seem the same to me.
Oh, wow.
Almost 1 in 3 said they all kind of look the same. Isn't that interesting? 47% said this, and this is the opportunity. I wasn't really sure what to look for in an agent.
Interesting. And that's one of the questions we ask right up front.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
And
sometimes what are you not looking for?
yeah. And people can say, I know what I don't want, but they don't know what they do want. And so I found that to be, unbelievable to me. Now here's the other thing that I found interesting. One of the others. Sellers found that pricing is important to them. That's not
No surprise there.
That's not a surprise. But they were asked this question: the last time you sold a home, how did you feel about the final selling price relative to your initial expectations? 5% said far below my expectations. So not a big number, 1 in 20. 17% said somewhat below my expectations. 50% said met my expectations. 20 somewhat exceeded, and 8% said far exceeded. So I look at that and I think 78% of sellers out there felt that expectations were either met or exceeded.
Nice number.
With regard to pricing. And now I think in large part that has to do with some of the market that we've come out of.
Very true.
And the market that we're, shifting into.
The lagging indicator of the market we're coming out of. It'd be interesting to see if that changes.
Well, I think that is going to change because the market's changed.
Correct.
The market's already changing. And so, when you've got such a high number that their expectations were either met or exceeded, 78%, in a market now that's changing, where inventory is starting to grow, prices are starting to show a lot more flexibility. I believe that number is only going to go down, with one caveat, or with one exception, is that now it becomes incumbent upon the real estate professional to make sure you give them an idea what their expectations in a changed market looks like.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's all about the experience and building an expectation. Ultimately, if you know what could be in front of you, when it shows itself, you're like, okay, I knew this might happen.
Yep.
Right. Here's an interesting question. Which of the following best describes how you feel about the home you lived in or live in? Now this is data, but I want to let you know, I look at it as direction here. 14% said it's just a house. It's a place to live. 31% said it's my private sanctuary from the stresses of the world. 31%. 26% said it's an extension of myself and my personality, part of who I am. Right? My house is my home. 13% felt like it was a source of pride. 16% said it's an investment in my family's financial future. 1% said other. But I look at this and I think 31% said it's my private sanctuary from the stresses of the world.
So I added up those three numbers that were all about the feeling.
Yeah.
70%.
Yeah.
70% it was an emotional, something emotional.
Yeah.
Which explains oftentimes why it's very hard for a seller to wrap their head around the value to somebody else, because that person has not established the emotional value yet in the home that the seller is very, very attached to.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting.
And that's, I think, contributes to, why sellers see this is not as easy as
Yep.
we think it can be at
Yep.
times. Do sellers fear anything? What do they fear? So I'll go quickly on this. Sellers' greatest fear during the process: the home would take too long to sell. 23%. 25% said not getting the price I want. 16% said major issues during the home inspection. 18% said deal falling apart at the last minute. 9% not finding a new place in time. And 8%, so less than 1 in 10, said regretting the decision to sell. So I look at this and I think, all right, this is, first of all, most of what sellers fear never happens. But this is important to focus on with the client, because these are the fears, while maybe not real, don't feel unreal. They feel real.
Those are great questions for us to ask. For any agent to ask, any advisor, I should say, to ask.
A lot of data and reports available for those that might be interested in it. But we contract with this organization annually, and I find their insights really helpful, and I'm glad we had the chance to share them.
Thank you for sharing, and that's it for today. So thank you for bearing with us, whether you're listening or watching, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.